Hello, welcome again to my channel. Today we shall be discussing the power of strategic alliances, the forgotten advantage of Abraham. Yes, the same Abraham. The Christian called him Father Abraham. I know, and I'm sure you know Abraham. He's the father of the Hebrews and a key pillar in three major religions: Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. When you think or you hear somebody talk about Abraham, what comes to your mind? Of course, you see him as the father of faith. You see him as the father of sacrifice, among many other reasons. But there is a forgotten lesson that Abraham teaches us that many of us have never been told. Follow me as I unravel to you a major advantage that Abraham worked with, that you can also work with to leverage your business and make it a stronger entity. And to go in this, I would like for us to read a passage from the Bible. We are going to be reading from Genesis chapter 14. Before that verse, Abraham's nephew Lot has been taken by war, and there came one that had escaped and told Abraham the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol and brother of Anna, and these were confederate with Abraham. The key word I want you to mark there is confederate. Another name for confederate is allies, which is where we got part of our topic from. Allies. This war before now has always been preached to us that Abraham went to war with 318 of his own trained servants. A key detail that was omitted in our Sunday school class was that Abraham had a secret weapon that many people didn't pay attention to, and is what we would like to call, for the sake of this discussion, his secret allies. These three people, Abraham did not go to war alone. Abraham went to war with his allies. And this passage, this verse 13, help us to see clearly that these people went to war with Abraham. If you need further clarification, you can compare verse 24 also. Abraham clearly said they went to war with him in the verse 24. Now, if somebody would be your ally, what would that person be like? He has to at least have an advantage that you don't have. So I need you to cast back your mind to those ancient times. They were living nomadic lives. So the essence of the allies is, if I have problem, you will come, I will call to you, you will come and help me. If you have problem, you will call, I will go and help you. So those three people were people in their own rights, like Abraham, and they formed alliances together. So when it was time for Abraham to go to war, even though Abraham has his 318 soldiers, these people also went to war with him with their own three, maybe more, maybe 300, maybe 400, maybe 500 trained servants too. That made logical sense because they had to go and fight with kings, 4 kings that own trained soldiers. Okay, so this makes logical sense to me, without prejudice to the fact that he was helped of God. Okay, so Abraham did not go to war alone. That's the first lesson I want us to pick from that passage. The conjoined lesson is that you don't create allies when trouble comes. You create allies before you need them. Imagine if it was when this war arose that Abraham was now going about seeking allies. Okay, Abraham has prepared, has made alliances long before he ever needs them. And that's going to be your first takeaway. As a business person, you need to structure your business in such a way that you have alliances, people who can come through for you when and where it matters. It's not when war comes or when challenges come that you begin to look for alliances. You look and create alliances before the need arises. So the next lesson I want us to learn from Abraham and from that passage is in verse 21. And the king of Sodom said unto Abraham, give me the persons and take the goods to thyself. So this was after Abraham and his allies have gone to war. They conquered those big kings and recovered spoils and people. The lesson I want to pick from that passage was that the king of Sodom and Abraham were contesting between themselves what to take. The king of Sodom prioritized people, and Abraham also prioritized people, because we see from the next verse that Abraham refused to take anything. For him, his reward was the fact that he has captured back his nephew that was taken away. Okay, now the lesson I want you to see there is that these two people prioritize people, and that's what you need to embrace in your business also. Have a people first mentality as a leader. Have a people first mentality as a business owner. You see, the environment where we are in prioritize money over people, prioritize things over people, which is a wrong approach. We are learning from this place as business people that people must come first. Money will finish, but people will remain. That's the proverb in my language. People must be your priority as a leader. Things will go away. Monies can develop wind. Inflation can affect money. You know, a lot can happen. You can do business and you lose money. Okay, but when you have solid people, you are sure that you will always remain relevant. The year was year 2020, and I had some massive business loss due to COVID, and I lost money heavily. You know, I lost about 80% of what I have. But fast forward, with the benefit of hindsight now, I discovered that one of the reasons I was able to quickly come back up is because I have solid people in the right places, solid alliances that I have built over the years. So even though money went away, those alliances remained. And with those alliances, I was able to build back up stronger. That's our second takeaway. A people first mindset as a business owner and as a leader. Have a mindset that prioritizes people over money, which is what we saw happen between Abraham and the king of Sodom. My next takeaway from that passage is in verse 23. Let's read together. That I will not take from a thread even to a shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abraham rich. The point we want to take away from there is integrity. If you are going to be a person who brings or builds strong alliances, you must be a person that can be trusted. Okay, the people you are dealing with must be able to trust you. The people you are dealing with, your alliances, must be able to trust you. They must see that you are not a selfish leader, that you are not valuing yourself over them, or you are not prioritizing your personal gain over them. Abraham in this passage showed integrity, that I don't want what belongs to you. I know I will get mine, but I don't want what belongs to you. If you must be someone who maintains strong alliances, you must be seen by others to be such a person that can be trusted. That's the takeaway I want us to note from that passage. If you must build strong alliances, if you must build strong people, if you must build a strong network, you must be somebody that can be highly trusted. One of the things that erodes relationship fast is problem of integrity. Once you begin to cut corners, you begin to prove smart, you begin to prove more intelligent. Some people just want to prove to you that they are smarter than you, and it could be very annoying. Nobody is really a fool. Okay, if you are dealing with people, respect their mind, respect their thinking, respect their views, respect their opinions. That will help you in sustaining a very strong alliance. So the last verse I would like for us to review is verse 24. It says, save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me, Anna, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them take their portion. Earlier I told you, Abraham confirmed that these people went to war with him. He didn't go alone. But the lesson I want us to take from this place is that even though Abraham did not take a physical reward for himself, he ensured that his allies were well rewarded. I would like for you to embrace what I will call a risk-reward model. When people take risk for you, they deserve to be rewarded. Even though Abraham did not take a reward, his own reward was Lot. Once he had Lot, that was enough reward for him. We earlier said people first. Okay? But he ensured that his allies were well rewarded. He said, give a portion of all the spoils that we got from this war. Reward my allies. And you want to adopt that for yourself. One of the ways you sustain, you oil the grease of a relationship is to ensure a regular reward system for your allies. There has to be something you need for them. Okay? That's how it's oiled. That's how the relationship is oiled. So how does this relate to you? Let's make it practical. Let's make it applicable. Many people watching me might feel maybe you should start developing alliances when you have attained the level of them Dangotes, them Tony Lumelus, them Otedolas, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and all that. But cut it. I'm going to be giving you my personal examples to let you see that at every level that you are, one of the best strategies you don't want to play with is this strategic alliances. You need to have right people in right places who you can call on when it matters, and they will be well incentivized to respond immediately. I think politicians in Nigeria understand this more than those of us in business. That's why this is more important for me. Business people need to begin to think like Nigerian politicians and begin to imbibe the concept of allies, the concept of allies and strategic partners. Okay, I'll give you an example for myself that will drive home this point better. So I have my business across Nigeria in several states, and some of the warehouses we have are located in local governments, in some communities. Some are in the city, some are in some local government. But I will take an example with the ones in the local government. For every warehouse or station that we have in any local government, I try to have an ally with a major police chief in that community. I remember there was a year we walked into one of the DPOs and decided to offer to paint the offices. Those are some of the strategic ways you get close. So if I have any need for police, I've already warmed up to him. You know what we said earlier about Abraham? You create those relationships long before you need them. A major police chief is part of my allies. A major banker is part of my allies. I rarely enter any bank nowadays because I have allies in most of those banks. If I need to, I can send my staff. Once it's my name, they will attend to them immediately. You want to have a top politician in that community as an ally. I have some top political guys who in those communities who are my allies. If there is a need to make war that is politics related, you can call. Another ally I have in such community is a major lawyer. I have a good lawyer, not just anyhow, a very solid lawyer in most of those communities. I'm telling you what I do basically. Okay? Another one that will surprise you. In my team of allies in most of those communities is head of the thugs in those communities. I have, and I'll share with you a story about that in a brief. And a good example, I once employed an accountant, and I didn't know previously that he's into this betting. So the petty cash is always in his hand, and sometimes several hundreds of thousands are in his hand. One day, he just, after being with us for some months, maybe 2-3 months, he said robbers came into his house and took away all the cash in his hand. So I was called, I came to the scene, and while I was there, the head of the thugs came in and said, Oga, what's happening? I heard your accountant was robbed. I said, it's true. He said, don't worry, give me small time. I will go check. The person will rob. I go bring and come here. After a while, he went away and he came back. He said, Oga, nobody robbed your accountant. Make you talk to him. Okay? And at that point, the accountant guy began to get fidgety. And of course, after a little persuasion, he confessed nobody actually robbed him. He has used the money to play bets and he lost those Naija bets. So back to what I'm saying. The fact that this head of Tog is an ally of mine, and I didn't plan for this to happen, but he needed to make himself useful. They know who is the thieves in the community. They know all the thieves. In fact, that was when I learned there are thieves within each region. So he went to confront the thief that was in charge of that's my accountant's region. And of course, that one will open up to him that there was no operation carried out in that place. Okay? My accountant didn't know I had that structure in place. So business is warfare. You've had the book, or you've read about the book, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Okay? It was trying to use war strategy to solve business problems. And you will have known that a lot of war tactics have been applied to business. Business is war. You need to build your business with this consciousness that having strategic alliances is not an option, it's a must if you must take your business to the next level. And you don't need, like I said, to be somebody too big to start, which is why I gave you my illustration within local communities. And this is a principle that has been ancient. Father Abraham used it. Nigerian top politicians use it. Businessmen all over the world use it. I am using it. I want to encourage you to join us and begin deliberately to build your own strategic alliances. You might want to say, how do I begin to create these alliances? So the first point you want to consider is some of the alliances that are relevant to me might not be relevant to what you do. So you need to make a list of who and who is really relevant as an alliance to what you do. Okay? And then the next step is you are going to approach them. You create that relationship before you need them. So everybody has a need. You want to maybe see how you can be of use to them. Come to them and decide to offer something. It's not what is common. Nobody walks up to a police and offer to do any good to them. You take deliberate initiative. Okay, this is what these people need. Let me see how I can help meet their need. Before I need them, let me meet their need. Okay? So remember the people first approach. Okay? Don't use people. People know when they are being used. So what you want to do is find a way of adding value to these people long before you need them. The flip side is that you begin to put pressure on them when you have not added any value. At that point, they see you as a user and they won't come through for you. Nobody is a fool. When people see that you are genuine in what you do, they will always come through for you. And again, everything doesn't have to be about money. Okay? See how you can add value to them. And when you need them, they will always come through for you. But doing a business without a solid ally is a heavy risk. Most times, that's why you see people wipe out. You see businesses wipe out. Because when the days of trouble comes, they have nobody to come through for them. I hope that helps. See you again in another video. If you love this video, please click on the like button and follow and share so that more people can learn from the resources that is available on this channel. Till I see you again in another video. Bye bye.